Coming in hot from Arizona, this is Trevor
and Troy Howard.
And you're on SoTellUs Time. You can have everything you want in your business. Sometimes you just need a little help.
Every business owner would love to charge more for their services, but sometimes you can sacrifice long-term loyalty for a short-term profit.
Creating the right rituals is key to your business having success.
Are you tired of competing with your competitors? Guess what? You don't have to compete if you create.
Hey everybody, welcome to another episode of SoTellUs Time. We are just ecstatic to be with you today. It is a good day. It's a great day. It's a sensational day. We're going to be talking about just start. Yes, that's right. Just start. Should be like makes me think of just do it.
Yeah.
You know, like Nike. Just start. Just do it. All too often, entrepreneurs, especially new entrepreneurs, they have a hard time getting started. What they do is they look at the end and they see what they want, but they are like, I don't know how to get there. Yeah. And they get overwhelmed. And so they never start in the first place, right?
Yep.
We were recently with a young entrepreneur doing some consulting just the other day. He came in, he's got this great idea for this app that he's building. He's in the process of building it and everything like that. And one of the things that he was having problem with is launching it, just getting it started.
Yeah, I remember you asked him, you're like, so when are you going to go live, so that people can start playing with it? And he's like, oh, I don't know.
Yeah, and the funny thing is it will, the first rendition, which we call the beta version, the beta version will be ready in a month, which is awesome. And we were like, wow, you're further along than we even thought. Well, the problem was, he's like, yeah, but I don't think I'm going to launch it. And I'm like, what do you mean you don't think you're going to launch it? Dude, you need to get that bad boy out there. And he's like, well, I want it to be perfect. And I'm like, perfect? This is your beta version. This is the first version. And so then we proceeded to explain to him that this is not supposed to be perfect. This is just to get it out there so that you can get it in the hands of friends and family and let them know it's going to be imperfect, to give you feedback, play with it, tell you what it does well, tell you what it doesn't do well, tell you what they wished it would do.
Yeah.
That's the whole point of this beta version and getting it out there. And he's like, but I want to be proud of what I put out there. And I'm like, you will be in the end. But the thing is, you may be going the wrong direction with this app that you're building. And what people really want is X, Y, and Z, but you're building A, B, and C. And you don't know that.
Yeah.
And so if you spend all this time, energy, effort, and money building something that's A, B, and C when people want X, Y, and Z, and then you go try to market it and spend a lot of money, get investors, do whatever you do, get a line of credit or empty out your bank account, borrow money from mom and dad, whatever it is, however you're going to market this, you may hit the mark by just a little bit.
Yeah. And
so that's why it's important to just get started. Right?
Absolutely. Actually, it's making me think about another person, and we've seen this a lot, like especially when it comes to websites.
Oh,
yeah. I can't tell you how many times we've had somebody come to us and they're like, oh my gosh, like I hate my website. It does nothing. Like I don't even want people to look at it. I'm so ashamed, blah, 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 blah. And I want a new website. So like we have our designers build a new website. It looks really, really good. It's like, 95% the way there.
Yeah.
And they're like, oh, I just have a couple of tweaks. I have a couple of pictures that I want changed out, this, that, and the other. And then they sit
forever.
And they wait like a month or 2 months or 3 months, and it's like, hey, look, let's get this thing launched,
We can always add stuff to it later.
Yeah, and they're like, oh no, I want it to be perfect.
Yeah.
And it always, and we kind of joke and laugh behind the scenes of like, well, wait a minute. Like you hate your other website,
yeah.
You won't even tell
which is
people
what's out
about
there.
It. Yeah,
which is what's out there.
Exactly, which is what's visible to 100% of the people.
Yeah,
and you're not launching what's the new thing because it's just not quite perfect,
right?
Exactly the way you want it, but you'll let the garbage be out there, right?
Oh, exactly.
And again, it's just that mindset of like, oh, it's got to be perfect, No.
Let me tell you what happens when you have to have it be perfect. You never get it done.
Yes.
You never launch it. And you know what you miss out on? I'll give you an example. I come up with, and Troy comes up with ideas all the time. For years, we come up with these great ideas and everything. And it's funny, I would tell my wife about them. I'd be like, hey, Troy and I were thinking about this the other day and we're brainstorming. And she'd be like, oh my gosh, do it. You should do it. You should build that. And we'd be like, oh, well, we don't know exactly. And we'd be looking at the end of it. This was for years. We did this for years. And we'd be looking at the end goal and we'd be like, well, we don't quite know how to get there yet.
Yep.
And so we would never do it. And all the time, she's like, you guys have the best ideas. People would pay millions for this, but you never do it. And so then we came up with SoTellUs.
Yeah.
And we were brainstorming about it. We were talking about it. And we decided, you know what? We just have to get started. And instead of looking at the end result and being overwhelmed and never doing it like we had done so many times in the past, we're going to just take the first step. What is the first step? And we're going to take that.
Yeah.
And from there, we took the second step and the third step. And guess what? Sometimes we were figuring out the next step on the go because we were like, especially once we got it to beta mode and then we let people play with it and touch it and use it. They were like, well, I wish it did this and it should do this and this would work better if it did that. And we were like, oh my gosh, you're so right. And so then it changed our next steps. And I'm so grateful for that because guess what? We would have literally missed out on millions of dollars if we would have waited, because what it is today is not what it was when we started it like 5 years ago.
Yeah.
And built it. So we would have missed out on just millions upon millions of dollars if we would have never taken that first step. And the reason that we've done so well is because of taking that first step. And that's what people have to do. And that's what we really, we're ingraining in him is it's just about taking that first step. Get that beta mode out there. Get that version out there. Let people play with it. And then let them give you the direction of what that next step is going to be, right?
Absolutely.
All right. What else you got there, Troy? Anything?
No, I mean, you pretty much covered it. Like I said, if we wouldn't have launched it, we would have missed out on millions and millions of dollars. Yep. We've missed out on great relationships with our clients and partners. And like you said, the guidance from our clients to shape that platform. So, sometimes you just got to, what do they say? You just got to build the airplane like while you're falling through the sky.
Yeah.
Sometimes you jump off the cliff and you're just building the airplane or the parachute on your way down.
Yeah.
And you just hope that you get it going before, you reach the ground.
Absolutely. Because time after time, people are like, well, I really want to have it right. And it's like, you don't even know what's right.
Yeah.
And what's funny is our next episode, stay tuned for the next episode because we're going to talk about that a little bit more. We're going to talk about the getting it right and then the process. So it's going to almost be like round 2 of this. So this is kind of to get your guys' minds right. There is a portion of people out there that just need that motivation. In fact, sometimes they need the permission, right? It is okay for you to just take that first step without having it all figured out because you really don't know the full end result until you have taken that first step and then that second step and that third step. So this week, guys, let's jump right into homework. Troy?
All right.
This will be a quick, short one, good in under 10 minutes. Homework this week is going to be looking at your business or your idea, or, maybe it's an existing business that you have an idea of how you want to grow it and make it even better and all this, but you just don't know that first step. I mean, this applies to anything, marketing, development, new products.
Yeah.
I mean, everything with your employees, customer retention, support, all of it. A lot of times it's just taking that first step, a little bit of a leap of faith, and then taking it from there after that, right?
Improving on it.
So look at your business or look at the idea you have and figure out what is that first step and then take it, right? Okay, that's it for this week, guys. We'll catch you next week on a kind of follow-up and build upon, because this next week is going to be for maybe people who already have started to build that and they need, like, what are those next steps and how do I get to those next steps, right? because we've got a key thing that I think is going to blow your mind. One statement that's going to blow your mind in next week's episode. So don't miss out. All right, we love you, and we will see you guys on the next episode of SoTellUs Time.